Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome from the Broadfield Stadium, where this afternoon there is Sky Bet League 2 action between Crawley Town and Salford City. Full match commentary on today's fixture with myself from 10 to 3 on iFollow, and of course Tony Bessie is going to come in and join me now. Tony, good to have you back this afternoon. Happy New Year.
And to you.
Because didn't get to see you on New Year's Day. I'm sure you've been keeping an eye on what's been going on for Crawley over the past couple of fixtures. And it's been the perfect start, really, hasn't it? 2 games, 2 wins. The win here against Swindon on New Year's Day and a fantastic victory away at Bradford City. Today, Crawley will be looking to sort of maintain that form. They don't want to let it slip today because that might sort of take away from what they did at Bradford last weekend.
Yeah, going away and winning away games, as we've always said constantly. You've got to win your home games if you're going to be in and around the playoffs or in the top half. But then to get a great result at Bradford and then come here and not get a result negates last week, really. So, but they've had a great start to 2024, scoring goals. 4 away from home is a great achievement. 3 at home, getting revenge against Swindon for the 6th they can pass us early in the season. So Scott must be really pleased with the last couple of weeks.
And they find themselves level on points with the team in the final playoffs, which is AFC Wimbledon. Yes, I know they played in the Cup last weekend and Crawley made up ground because they played and Wimbledon didn't. But they've still got to go to Wimbledon, which ironically is next Saturday. There's 20 games to go, including today. I think we stood here with Mark a couple of months ago, and I think you predicted about 9th in the table, which is where Crawley currently sit. Can they make a push for the playoffs in the last stage of the season?
Yeah, of course they can. Any team from anywhere 15th, 16th upwards can go on a run, put some results together, win 4 or 5 games on spin, and be there or thereabouts. It's perfectly achievable. Same as Salford have drawn 2 and lost 4 of their last 6 games in their 21st, 22nd, saying a few minutes ago. So it's Easter time again. Stage of the season, start of the season. In September, beginning of October, you get Christmas games. Easter's the next target of where you're going to realistically be positioned for that final push at the end of the season.
Talking about Salford today, look at the league table, Crawley 9th, Salford 21st. They have got a better away record with Salford than they've got at home. Maybe the pressure is off them a little bit when they play away from home. Led to believe they've got a lot of players returning today from injury. I think they've got maybe someone suspended from sending off that they picked up last week, but they've got a lot of players coming back. It's certainly not going to be easy. Crawley can't be complacent today and think, look at the league table, we're easily going to pick up the points. They've also had a week under the charge of their new manager, Carl Robinson. He will have tried to introduce the way that he wants them to play, maybe different positions for different players, possibly a different formation of the whole 10 out for the players today. Crawley can't really take anything for granted because Salford, like Crawley looking for the points for the playoffs, Salford are looking for points for another reason.
Yeah, it's do they get that lead in the bounce? Vastly experienced manager, plenty of clubs, plenty of playoff finals, taking clubs up. So yeah, he's had that week. And coincidentally, I just heard him on the radio, driving up on radio 5 Live, interviewed him.
Right.
Came across very impressively, and like I say, they've worked really hard this week. He's tapping into the ownership of the club there, Giggs and Scholes and Beckham and those people. He's been constantly in contact with them, apparently. So I feel he can pretty much rip up the league table today. It's going to be a really tough game. Big striker, struggle against big strikers. Matt Smith in front has got the vast majority of their goals, and he's going to be a real threat. And this is going to be a tough game. The league position will be a bit misleading.
Talk about Matt Smith, though. Crawley currently have the world's leading goal scorer for 2024. With Dan Horsey, 4 goals in his last 2 games, 2 here on New Year's Day, 2 at Bradford last week. He's absolutely on fire, as the song goes, at the present time. I know Ken and some of the others have been giving him a little bit of stick about the fact of when you're actually going to get a hat-trick, but testament to Dan that he's got his head down. He's had his critics about the way that he plays over the course of the season, but he's really sort of answering them in spades now, isn't he?
Well, looking at the highlights of the last couple of games, it's been those crosses we've got him behind the fullback, through on one side, Kevin Gordon probably on the right hand side, and he's in there in that 6-yard box when those crosses are coming in. And the number of them have been 5-6 yard tap-ins because ball's coming across with a lot of pace, and it's not that easy to finish even if you think it's an open goal.
Yeah.
And he's in the right place, right time, which is what you want from your strikers, together with service is all important to centre forwards.
But Dan himself, when I spoke to him after the game on New Year's Day, he's also said that that's testament to the work that the coaches are putting in with him about anticipating where the ball might go, like every good striker, being in the right place at the right time. And also he talked about body shape, getting his body shape in the right sort of position to be able to tuck those away. Because like you say, the one here on New Year's Day fired across from the left-hand side. The one last week, the first one again, Cerula firing it in. But like you say, it is coming in with a lot of pace. Yes, you've got to get that final touch, but it's quite easy from within the 6-yard box for that final touch to not go towards the net.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, it's day in, day out, training ground stuff, working on that pattern of play, getting Cerula in behind the fullback, getting those crosses in, and working on that, timing that run to be at the right place at the right time. That's a really difficult skill. That's why defenders are defenders and strikers are strikers.
Absolutely, and why strikers cost so much money.
Yeah,
I'm led to believe. Yeah. Let's just talk about Scott Lindsay, Tony, before we finish for today. His 50th league game in charge of Crawley today. Ironically, his first one was against Salford at the back end of January last year, because he had some postponements when he first took charge. He's just ticked over a year in charge. For me, there's been a huge transformation in the club about the feeling around the club, the anticipation around the club this season. That is mainly to do with Scott, the coaching team, the players that he's brought in, the ethos that he's tried to inject into the team, the work ethic of the players that are out there. For me, he's been a real sort of breath of fresh air. How would you sum up that first year in charge for Scott Lindsay?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. When he first came, we were struggling, we continued to struggle. The aim was to not get relegated. We did just squeak it. It was a bit tight at the end of the season, but we had that game at Hartlepool, which was clinched it, thankfully. And then he's just transformed the club in the post-season, in between the last season, beginning of this season. A lot of trepidation about the type of players that were coming in, not necessarily a lot with league experience. A few not heard of, Bolos and Aniemo, thinking no real experience coming from National League South or National League Conference. And I think there was quite a bit of nervousness around the club and the fans as to how we were going to perform and famous to get relegated. You can see the way the work ethic and the shape and the pattern of play, the way we play week in, week out. Yes, we give some bad goals away, but the way you play that, the way you play out from the back, it's bound to be some technique.
Yeah, of course.
And we've suffered with that. Some goalkeeping mistakes, which you're going to get those as well from time to time. But I don't think anybody outside of perhaps the staff and the playing staff would have predicted where we are now. And talking about looking upwards rather than looking downwards. And that is thanks to music.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Thanks, Tony. You can see behind us that Salford have arrived. So we're about an hour and a half or so away from this afternoon's fixture. 3 o'clock kick-off in Sky Bet League 2, Crawley Town versus Salford City. Full match commentary with Tony and myself, like I said earlier, on iFollow from 10 to 3. If you can't get on iFollow, then there will be regular team news, previews and updates throughout the course of the afternoon on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey, with Tim Durran's in the chair this afternoon between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Tony and I will be updating. We'll go and try and get our head around the team news this afternoon, but make sure that you join us and follow us one way or the other for Sky Bet League 2 action. Crawley Town versus Salford City live here at the Broadfield Stadium, 3 p.m. kickoff.